Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Hi, Bob.
Chodesh Tov. Good.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay,
Morning.
we're all set. We'll get started on Memtet Amud Aleph at the Mishnah. Okay, remember we've been dealing with a variety. We went from cooking to muktzah to putting things down on something that was muktzah, okay, to wrapping hatmana, okay, whether it's moist by itself or other sources. We now pick up now with that similar topic of hatmana, of insulating, and we're going to focus now, as I said, on Mem Tet Amud Aleph at the Mishnah. Tomnin bekasot ubeperot ubekanfei yona ubenesoret shel charashim ubenaoret shel pishtan daka. Right? So our Tanakama, our Mishnah is telling us that we can insulate using kasot, using garments, ubeperot, okay, or using produce, okay, bekanfei yona, with the wings of doves, okay, ubenesoret shel charashim, which we would call sawdust, okay, carpenter's sawdust, ubenaoret shel pishtan daka, and the chaff of fine flax. Rabbi Yehuda oser bedaka, okay, Rabbi Yehuda, however, prohibits with the use of fine flax, if you will, umatir bagasa, but he permits with the use of coarse flax. Now, Amar Rabbi Yanai, says our Gemara, right, with the following, right, and initially this is going to seem to be out of context, right? Amar Rabbi Yanai, tefillin tzrichin guf naki, okay, that to put on tefillin, one needs a clean or pure body. Elisha Baal Knafayim, like the person known as Elisha, the man of wings. Now we might ask, what connection does this have whatsoever with our Mishnah. And the best explanation we can come up with is, since among the items that Tanakama referred to as potential sources of Hatmana, of insulation, and they mentioned Kanfei Yona, the wings of doves, they're making that connection. Ma'ihi, what are we talking about here? Okay, right. So what does this mean? Abaye Amar says, Abaye, Shalo Yafiach Bahen. Okay, in other words, according to Abaye, that one wearing tefillin should not make wind. Rava Amar, Shalo Yisham Bahem. Rava says that he cannot sleep in them. Okay, remember they wore tefillin all day long, okay, in the time of Chazal, and so that was the implication. Okay. By the way, those are still appropriate halachas, right? Va'amai karile ba'al knafayim, and why did they call him the man of wings? Shapam echad gazra malchut romi harsha'a. At one time, the terrible kingdom, the wicked Roman government, that made a decree, Al Yisrael, Shekol Maniach Tfilin Yinakru et Mocho, that whoever puts on tefillin will have their brain pierced. Okay? Now, what happens? Vahaya Elisha Manicham V'yotze Lashuk. And Elisha would put it on, and he went out into the marketplace, into the streets. Ra'ahu Kasdor Echad, a questor, a Roman official, saw him, Ratz Mipanav, and he ran from him. Baratz Acharav, and the Roman official ran after him. B'kevan shehigia etzlo, Natlan Mirosho, once the Roman official came close to him, he removed it from his head, okay? Va'achzan biyado, and he held it in his hand. Now, the implication, just as an aside, by the way, seems to be that he was only wearing one tefillin and not two. And that's a discussion for another time. But if you look at the blessings that we recite in the mornings for tefillin, you may get a sense of that as well, or a single blessing for both, right? He held it in his hand. Amarlo, and said to him, Mazeh biyadcha, what's in your hand? Amarlo kanfei yonah. He said to him, it's the wings of a dove, was his reply. Pshadet yado, v'nimtzeu kanfei yonah. Leficha korim oto Elisha ba'al knafayim. Okay, he opened his hand, and there were the wings of a dove. Therefore, they called him Elisha, the man of the wings. Umayishna kanfei yonah misha'arofot. And what's so different or unique about the wings of a dove from those of other birds? Mishum da'amtil knesset Yisrael v'yonah. Because we compare the people of Israel, the nation of Israel, okay, to a dove. As it says in the Pasuk in Tehillim, Kanfei Yonah nechpa b'kesef b'gomer. Okay, as the wings of a dove covered with silver. Namely, Ma Yonah kinafeha maginot aleha, the same way the wings of the dove protected, Af Yisrael mitzvot maginot aleihem. So likewise, observance of the mitzvot is what identifies and protects the Jewish people. Next item that we found in our Mishnah, B'nesoret shel charashim v'chulei. Okay, now referring to the carpenter's sawdust, okay, or to the kind of flax. So the Gemara asks, Ibayalahu. So they asked regarding the following. Rabbi Yehuda, okay? Remember at the end of our Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda said, Oser bedaka, umatir begasa. He prohibited with the fine and permitted with the coarse. And so therefore they ask, Anesoret shel charashin kai, or Anesoret shel pishtan kai? Was his comment in regards to the sawdust of the carpenter, or was it in regard to the flax, okay, the chaff of the fine flax? Okay, Tashma, listen to the following Braita, says the Gemara. The Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Na'oret shel pishtan daka, in regards to the chaff of the fine flax, right? Harehu kizevel, but that's almost similar to wrapping something in zevel, in excrement, or in leftover produce. Okay, Shma mina ana oret shel pishtan kai. That would seem to tell us that he's referring to the chaff of the fine flax. Shma mina. Indeed, that proves that that's the case. Our new Mishnah, right? Again, still dealing with the topic of hatmana. Okay? Tomnin b'shlachin. We can insulate using fresh animal hides, umetaltalinotan, and we may even handle them on Shabbat. Okay? Begizeit semer, a wool fleece, ve'ein metaltalinotan, but we are not permitted to handle those. Ketzad hu oseh, what then should the person do? Okay, and let's say they used the wool fleece for hatmana, right, for insulation. Notel et hakisui, says the Mishnah. Okay, one lifts the lid of the pot, right? Vehen no float, and then the wool fleeces will simply fall off, theoretically, of their own. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah Omer Kupa. Rabbi Eliezer says, what if the pot with the fleece are inside a basket? What do we do then? Mate al tzida, we lean the basket on its side. Vinotel shema yitol, and then we are able to, the fleece will slide off inside the basket, and in that space, okay, we're able to lift the pot, right? Ve'eno yachol, right? If that's the case, v'notel, right? Mate al tzida, v'notel shema yitol, okay, and in that case, we say that what happens? Ve'eno yachol lahachzor. And if it happens that they don't slide off, the implication is that he cannot put it back, okay, inside. In other words, he can't replace the pot, okay, inside the basket among the wool, because the wool is muktzah. V'chachamim omrim notel umachzir. But the sages say one can take it out and replace it back, as we're going to see in the Gemara. Okay, let's go on. Gemara says to us the following situation. Yativ Rabbi Yonatan ben Achinai, Rabbi Yonatan ben Elazar, these two sages were sitting learning. V'yativ Rabbi Chanina bar Chama Gabayhu, and then they were joined by Rabbi Chanina bar Chama. Okay, and the following was discussed. The Kama Baileho, and the following was asked of them. Shlachin shel Bal Habayit nan. Are we talking about hides, fresh hides that belong to a private individual? Okay. Aval shel uman, but of a artisan. Okay. Kevan de kapid alaihu lo metaltalina laho, since he is stringent, he's particular about them, okay, that we cannot handle them. O dilma shel oman tnan, v'kol shekain shel balabayit. Okay, or perhaps we're referring to the animals' fresh hides of a artisan, okay, that can be handled, and certainly those of a individual. Amar laho Rabbi Yonatan ben Elazar. So one of them, okay, responds and says, Mistabra shel balabayatana. It seems logical that, say, we're learning about that of the private individual. Okay? Aval shel omen kapida layu. But in regards to an artisan, a craftsman, let's say, all right, that he would be more particular, more stringent about it. Right? Amar laho Rabbi Chanina bar Chama. And so Rabbi Chanina bar Chama responds to them as follows. Kach amar Rabbi Yishmael bar Rabbi Yossi. Thus did Rabbi Yishmael, the son of Rabbi Yossi, say, as we go over to the other side of Memtet, namely the following. Abba shalacha hava. My father was a hide worker, a tanner, right? V'amar haviu shlachin v'neshev alehin. And he once said to me, bring over the hides so we can sit on them, okay? Which would seem to imply that a tanner is not kapid, is not stringent, particular about them. Meitive. But we find the following objection raised. Nisarin shel balabayit, metaltalinotan. Okay, those boards that belong to an individual householder, one can carry them, one can handle them. The shel omein ein metaltalinotan. But if they belong to an artisan, they cannot be handled, which would seem to say that an artisan, a craftsman, is makpid, is particular about them. Okay? Ve'im chishev latet alehem pat la'orchim. However, says the Braita, continues, if he intended to put bread on these boards, to use them as a means of serving guests, right? Bein kach uvein kach metaltalim. Do we say here that regardless of whether they belong to the individual or to the artisan, okay, one can handle them? Gemara answers, Shani Nisarin, the Kapid Alayu. No, boards are different because people are generally particular, stringent about them. Okay, continuing now with a new Braita. Tashma, listen to the following. Orot, these hides, right? Bein avudin ubein she'ein avudin. Whether they've been worked, in other words, tanned, or whether they haven't been tanned, right? Mutar letaltalan b'Shabbat. It's permitted to handle them on Shabbos. Lo amru avudin, okay? And our Braita didn't specify, okay, in regards to their being worked, ela le'inyan tuma bilvad, okay, except for the concern about their becoming unclean, subject to tuma. And so right, in other words, tanned hides are subject to tuma, untanned hides are not, okay? Ma'i lav, is it not because of the following, says the Gemara, lo shana shel balabayit, v'lo shana shel oman. Doesn't that seem to imply that there's no difference between whether it belongs to an individual or whether it belongs to an artisan? All right? Right? No, says the Gemara. Shel balabayit. No, he says. All right? It means regarding those of a individual. Aval shel amain, my. But in regards to a craftsman or an artisan, what about his? Ein metaltalin? Do we say then that they cannot be handled? Ihachi, if that's the case. Ha detani velo amru avudin ela le'inyan tuma bilvad. Okay, if that's the case, then why, when it said that it talked about hides that were worked or that were tanned, why did it say then specifically in regards to uncleanness, to tuma? Okay, liflog, let's make a distinction. Okay, velitne bedida, okay, and teach in regarding to this specific item that that's the case. Bamed varim amorim, what are we talking about then? B'shel balabayit, okay, and we make it refer specifically to those of the individual. Aval b'shel oman, lo, but in regards to the craftsman, the artisan, no. So the Gemara says, kula b'bal habayit kamaire. No, the whole item is referring to that of a householder. Okay, we don't make a distinction between tanned and untanned hides in regards to tuma for the balabayit. Now, wrote shel balabayit metaltalin otan v'shel oman ein metaltalin otan. Okay, therefore we see that only those that are the individual can be handled, those of the craftsman cannot be handled. Okay? Rabbi Yossi Omer, echad zeh ve'echad zeh metaltalin oto. But Rabbi Yossi disagrees and says either the one of the craftsman or the one of the individual can be handled. That there's no distinction in regards to whether they're tanned or not, or both. Okay, we go on now to the following piece in the Gemara. All right, Hadur Yatvei. Okay, they were still seated. In other words, the same Tanaim was still seated and discussing. Ukemabaye lahu, and they were discussing this issue further. Haditnan avot melachot arba'in chaser achat. Okay, all right. We learned at one point, they said, that the principal categories of work are 40 minus 1, right? Namely, keneged mi amar lahu. Okay, according to whom? Okay, do they correspond? Rabbi Chanina bar Chama, right, responds, keneged avodot hamishkan, that they correspond to the forms of labor that were done in the Mishkan, in the tabernacle. Amar laho Rabbi Yonatan Rabbi Eliezer. So he, from one of the other sages we saw, responds, Kach amar Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yossi. Okay, this is what Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yossi, okay, Ben Lakunia, the son of Lakunia, he said a different suggestion, namely, Keneged Melacha. It is the number 39 is based on the number of times we find the word Melacha or Melachto, Umelechet Shabbatorah. Okay, when we find these kinds of work, his work or the work of, okay, written in the Torah, okay, Arba'im Chaser Achad, 39 times. Ba'i Rav Yosef. And Rav Yosef then asks, in regards to a pasuk, for example, the following, Vayavo habaita la'asot melachto. Okay, when it refers to Joseph coming home, okay, or coming back and says to do his work. Miminyanahu olo. Is that pasuk and that reference to work included in that count of 39 or not? Okay. Amar le Abaye, and Abaye responds, Velite Sefer Torah velimne. Let's bring a Torah scroll and we'll count. Okay. So the Gemara now proceeds to tell us, Mi lo amar Rabba bar Chana, amar Rabbi Yochanan. Okay, didn't Rabba bar Chana, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, tell us, Lo zazu misham ad shehiviu sefer Torah u'minaum, that they didn't move from that spot till they actually brought a Torah scroll and counted. Okay? Now, the interesting side issue here could be the fact that perhaps not all Torah scrolls were exactly duplicates of one another. Okay? We do remember that they used to keep a Sefer Torah in the Beis Hamikdash area, right, as the ultimate source, so to speak. Okay, so let's come back now. Right? So what happens? Amarle, he said to him, Kika misfekali, right? The reason I'm doubtful, he says, Mishum dechtiv, because elsewhere it's also written in another pasuk, V'hamalacha haita dayam, namely for the work that they had was sufficient, okay, namely in Shmot, right? Okay, Mimenyanahu, is that included in the number, in the count of 39? V'hakeman da'amah, okay, but in that regard, didn't it say, right, la'asot tzarchav, okay, that was in order to perform his business, okay? In other words, that perhaps that's why he came back to the house, right? His business was, let's call it monkey business, okay? Sexual activity, okay? Nichnas, okay? He came in. O Dilma v'yavo habaita la'asot malachto mimenyanahu. Or perhaps he went into the house to do his work as of the number, okay? Or maybe it simply means, right, that he completed his work. His work was all done. V'v'hai hamlacha haita dayam, that it was sufficient. Hachi kama. This is what we mean to say here. To shalim le'avidata, that his work was done and completed, all done, and that's not part of the 39. Teku, we have no final answer here. Okay, we now go on. Tanya, a new Braita. Kiman Amar kineged avodot hamishkan. This Braita says that the number 39 indeed is based on the opinion that it corresponds to the forms of malacha, the forms of labor in regards to the Mishkan. The Tanya, as we teach in another Braita, Ein chayavin ela al malacha shekyotze ba haita b'mishkan. Right? That we don't say that one is chayav on a work, a kind of work, unless it was similar to the variety that was performed in the Mishkan. For example, Heim Zaru, they planted seeds. In other words, they sowed various seeds for plants, for example, to produce dye or to make wheat in order for the meal offerings, right? Va'atem lo tizra'u, and you shall not plant. Heim katzru, okay, they harvested. Va'atem lo tiktzeru, and you will not harvest. Heim ha'elu et ha'kodashim mikarka la'agala. They lifted, okay, the karashim, the boards from the ground to the wagon. In other words, they went from one rishus, okay, to another rishus, yachid to rabbi. Va'atem lo tachnisu mi rishut harabim rishut hayachid. Okay, and you cannot do it from rishus harabim rishus hayachid. Okay, im horidu et krashim me'agala lekarka. They lowered the boards from the wagon to the ground. Va'atem lo totziu, and you cannot bring things out. Mirishus hayachid, mirishus harabim, from one domain of private to the public domain. Hem hotziu me'agala la'agala. They transferred items from one wagon to another, implying they went from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim back to Rishus HaYachid. But Atem lo totziu mi Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaYachid. Okay, going through, okay, the public domain. Rishus HaYachid, Rishus HaYachid, Ma'i ka'avid. How do we say that they went from one private domain to another private domain? What's wrong with that? Okay. Abai v'Rava da'amrei travayu, that the two of them said, v'itema Rav Ada bar Ahava, and others say it was Rav Ada bar Ahava, namely, Rishus HaYachid, the Rishus HaYachid, derech Rishus HaRabim. Okay, that they went from one private domain to another through the public domain. Okay, let's go on now. The Gemara tells us, okay, B'gizei tzemer ve'ein metaltalin. In terms of wool and fleece, one cannot handle it. Right? Amar Rabba, says Rabba, lo shanu ela shelo taman bahem. This we learned only when they didn't use it for insulating food. Aval taman bahem, but if one used it for insulating food on the Shabbat, metaltalinotan, they may be handled. Eitive, I'll challenge this, says the Gemara, with the following Braita. Okay? Hahu mirabanan bar yome. There was a certain student, okay, who came a particular day, okay, or others who wanted to say he came for the first day of the Beis Midrash, okay, and what happened? To challenge the Rabbah, and he challenged Rabbah with the following: Tomnin begizei tzemer ve'em metaltalinotan, that we may insulate with, wool fleeced pieces of wool fleece, but we may not handle them. Okay, ketzad hu oseh. What needs to be done then? Let's go over to Nun. Okay, for a little bit. Notel et kisui. One lifts off the cover of the pot. Veheino float, and the wool pieces of fleece, all right, will fall off. Ela I itmar, hachi itmar. Okay, they fall off on their own. If this was said, this is how it needs to be stated. Amar Rava, says Rava lo shanu ela shalo yechdan lahatmana. That was a situation where they did not designate them for insulating. Aval yechdan lahatmana. But if one had already designated them for that purpose, metaltalinotan, then it would be permissible to handle them. Itmar nami, and about this it was also said, Ki ata Ravin, when Ravin came, Amar Rabbi Yaakov, Amar Rabbi Asi ben Shaul, Amar Rebbe. Okay, the following Masorah in Rebbe's name. Lo shanu ela shelo yachdam lahatmana. They only taught this in regards to a situation where they did not designate it in advance, okay, for hatmana, for insulation or storing. Aval yachdan lahatmana, but if it had been designated in advance for hatmana, metaltalino time, then it's permissible to handle it. Ravina Omer. Ravina then says in this case, okay, B'shel hapatach haftak shanu. Now, what they were talking about here, says Ravina, is hides that had just been coming off the shelf of the merchant. Okay? In other words, fleece that was just purchased initially, and you don't know if it was the purpose of its purchase was for insulation or non-insulation. Tanya Nami Hachi. And we have a Braita that teaches as well. Yizet Tzemer Shel Haptek, the wool fleece that had come from the merchant's shelves, Ein Metaltalino Tam. We're not permitted to handle them on Shabbat. Ve'im hitkinan bal habayit lehishtamesh bahem. But if the individual owner, okay, had in a sense prepared them, designated them, okay, for some purpose, it would be permitted then to be handled. Metaltalino tam. And now the Braita continue with a new statement. Tana Rabba Bar Bar Chana, Kame de Rab. Rabba Bar Bar Chana taught the following in regards to Rav, right? Namely this, Charayot, which are older dried branches from a palm tree, Shel Dekel, Shegadran La'etzim, and they cut them down initially to use as fuel, okay? Wood, right? V'nimlach alehen the yeshiva, and afterwards the person changes his mind and wants to use them for some form of seating. Shrich lekasher, okay? He must bind them up. In other words, he must do some particular act, okay, before the Shabbat to indicate their purpose, right? Otherwise, they couldn't be handled on the Shabbat. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, Omer, Ein tzarich lekasher, that one does not have to tie them together, right? Hu tane la, v'hu amar la. Okay? According to the Gemara, we might say, okay, that now Rabba Bar Bar Chana is now saying he taught it, but he also says the following, Halacha Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, that the law is like Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, namely that perhaps we do not have to do a physical act to designate the item, but a mental act, okay, of designation for a particular purpose is sufficient. Let's go on a bit. Itmar, I know this is the Daf for Shabbos, right? Itmar was said, Rav Amar kosher. Rav said one should nevertheless tie them together. Ushmuel Amar choshev, and Shmuel says it's sufficient, okay, to have a thought, to consider it. In other words, mental intent, right? What happens? Okay, in other words, that his mental intent was to use it as seats. Rav Asi Amar, says Rav Asi, Yoshev afal pi shelo kisher va'afal pi shelo chishev. That Rabbi Asi says if he sits upon them, okay, before Shabbat, that is, he's designated their intent, okay, both through a physical act, and therefore it is not necessary to tie them, but it's also not necessary then to designate them mentally either for the purpose of sitting, right? Since he handled it and used them as a seat before Shabbat, he can use it likewise on Shabbat as well. Bishlema Rav, Huda Amar Ketana Kama. That's acceptable because Rav says basically the same as the first Tana, right? Shmuel Nami Huda Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. And Shmuel also, his view is acceptable because it's similar to that of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, who said you don't have to tie it. Ela Rav Asi, the Amar Kaman, but Rav Asi, okay, according to whom is his position? Hu de Amar ki hai Tana. His view is similar to another Tana who taught as follows, the Tanya, Yotzim B'Pikurim, okay, that namely he taught that one can go out, namely into the street, with Pikurim, which are tufts or pieces of wool. Sometimes they were used for a kind of a wig, okay? Okay, sometimes they were used instead for a bandage, right? Ubetsipa are also for combed wool, all right? Bisman shetzava'an b'shemen, even in the time that one could have dyed them or dipped them in oil. B'meshicha, okay? V'karchan b'meshicha, okay? And then tie them with a cord, with a piece of rope. That was, of course, you would be used as a bandage. Lo tzav'an b'shemen, okay? If he didn't dip them in oil, v'lo karchan b'meshicha, or and didn't tie them with twine or with a piece of rope, right? Ein yotzin bahem, then he's not permitted to go out with them. V'im yatsa bahem sha'achat miba'od yom, but if he went out with them an hour while it was still daylight, in other words, Friday afternoon, before it got dark, right? Before nightfall, right? Afal pi shelo tzava v'lo karchan b'meshicha, even though he did not dip them in oil, be used as a bandage, or tie them with twine, mutar latzeit bahem, then it's permitted to go out with them on Shabbat. Right? Amar Rav Ashi, says Rav Ashi, af anan nami tanina. So we too learned that similar item, namely, in a different way, hakash, if you have straw, sha'al gabe hamita, that's lying on a bed, lo yena'aneu biyado, he cannot brush it off or move it with his hand, aval mena'ana'o begufo, but he may move it with his body. Im haya alav ma'achal behema. But if, however, the intent of that straw was for animal food, o shahaya alav kar, o sedin miba'od yom, or if there was a pillow or a sheet upon the bed before nightfall, minan o biado, he may move it with his hand. Shma mina, indeed, excuse me, this proves it. Okay. So, just a few more minutes and we'll get as much as we can for the Shabbos stuff. Uman Tana, the Paligale de Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. And who is the Tana that seems to disagree with Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, who says you don't have to tie it, okay, whatsoever, right? And it would appear that, like Shmuel, he says, mental intent is enough. Rabbi Chanina ben Akiva. It seems to be Rabbi Chanina ben Akiva. Why? The Chi'ata Rav Dimi, when Rav Dimi came, Amar Zeiri, he said in the name of Zeiri, Amar Rabbi Chanina, in the name of Rabbi Chanina, Pam echad halach Rabbi Chanina ben Akiva lemakom echad. One time Rabbi Chanina ben Akiva went to a certain place. Umatzah charyot shel dekel shegadrum lashum eitzim. And he found there, in that place, these old dried branches of palm, right, that had been cut for wood, firewood. Va'amar lehem l'talmidav, and he said to his students, Tz'u v'chishvu kadei sheneshev alehem l'machar. Okay, go out and consider them. In other words, declare your intent upon them, that we'll use them to sit on tomorrow. V'lo yadana ibeit hamishta hava ibeit ha'evel hava. But I don't know if that place was a sumptuous meal, in other words, a celebration, a house of feasting, or a house of mourning, right? Midika amar, ibeit hamishta hava, ibeit ha'evel hava. Since he said specifically whether it was a house of feasting or a house of mourning, davka, there that was permitted, would seem that was permitted, particularly in regards to the house of mourning or a house of feasting, the tride, because they are occupied in their activity and they would have no time to tie the branches. Valhacha kashar ein lo kashar lo. But here we might say if he tied them, yes. If he didn't tie them, no. Amar Rav Yehuda, okay. So Rav Yehuda, however, okay, says as follows, okay. Again, another example. Machnis adam melo kupato afar. A person can fill up a basket full of earth, ba'oseh ba kol tzarchav, and he can carry it and bring it into his home for his general needs. Some might suggest to cover excrement, for example, inside the house, or for some other reason for the floor of the house. Darash Mar Zutra, Mishmei de Mar Zutra Rabba. And Mar Zutra gave a drasha in the name of Mar Zutra Rabba, okay, a condition. V'hu sheyiched lo keren zavi, so long as he had designated a particular corner for it. Okay, in other words, that was the specific place. Amru Rabbanan Kame Rav Papa Keman, and the rabbi said before Rav Papa, according to whom? Ki Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. It's according to the view of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Okay, the ik, right? Is that who it is? The ik Rabbanan, the Amrei Ba'inan Ma'aseh. But because if we say it was according to the rabbis, don't we need to imply that there has to be some sort of physical act is required? Amar laho Rav Papa, so Rav Papa, afilu tema Rabbanan. You can even say that it was according to the rabbis. Why? Right? Ad kan lo ka'amrei Rabbanan de ba'inan ma'aseh. Up to this point, the rabbis only said we needed a physical act. Ela midi debar aveda be ma'aseh. Okay? In other words, that we needed something that was a preparatory action, right? In order to make it possible to use it, right? Aval midei de lo bar mi'avda be ma'aseh. But something that does not require a preparatory action, lo. That's not the case. Okay, there it's not possible and not needed. Okay, Namek Tanai. Shall we say that this is actually a machloket Tanaim? Okay. Namely, with the following example. B'chol chafin, okay, et hakelim, chutz miklei kesev bagar takom. Okay, with everything, any kind of soap, iodine, cleansing agent, one can wash or clean, okay, utensils, okay, except silver utensils using cream of tartar, okay. Why? Ha natar v'chol mutar. Why? Because it would seem there, okay, that this would seem to imply that with something like a natron, okay, or something like sand, it's permitted. Vahatanya. But aren't we taught elsewhere in another Braita, natar v'chol asur, that the natron and sand are forbidden? My, so what is our situation here? Okay, lav bahar k'miflagei. Aren't they? This is what they're arguing about. The mar savar ba'inin ma'aseh. That one says we need a preparatory act. Umar savar lo ba'inin ma'aseh. And another one says that we don't need an act. Lo, no, says the Gemara. The kuli alma lo ba'inin ma'aseh. No, everybody is in agreement, okay, that we do not need a preparatory act, okay, in this case. Below kasha, and there's no problem here, right? Okay, namely, ha Rabbi Yehuda, ha Rabbi Shimon. One is the view of Rabbi Yehuda, okay, right, who holds basically, remember the following, ha Rabbi Yehuda, the amar davar she'ein mitkavein asur. He holds that something that's a result of an act, a subsequent act is for, even though one didn't have an intent, is forbidden. Ha Rabbi Shimon. The other is the view of Rabbi Shimon, the amar davar she'ein mitkavein mutar. Okay, who holds that an unintentional result of a certain act, okay, that is permitted. B'mai okimta laha deshari karabi Shimon. Okay, then why then do we seem to be saying that we're permitting it according to Rabbi Shimon? In the Sefer, I would say look at the end clause. Aval lo yichof bahem sa'aro, where it says one cannot use these items, okay, to yichof bahem sa'aro, to wash his hair, right? The Rabbi Shimon mashra, okay, and if Rabbi Shimon was saying permits it, kashrei, right, does so, Ditznan, yet it's taught, as we just go over a little bit on the top of Nun Amud Beis, Nazir Chofef, Umefpas Peis, Aval Lo Zochrei, that a Nazirite can wash his hair and part it with his hands, but he can't comb it. Okay? Ela ha vaha Rabbi Yehuda. Okay? But rather we say both the views have to be of Rabbi Yehuda, both positions, statements, namely, Trei Tanai, Aliba de Rabbi Yehuda, that there were two Tanaim giving the views of Rabbi Yehuda. Ha, Tana Aliba de Rabbi Yehuda, Savar Garir, and one of Tana holds that it results in it making it smooth, and therefore can't use that item on silver. V'haitana aliba de Rabbi Yehuda savar lo garir, and the other Tana holds that it doesn't make it smooth. Okay? And I think what we'll do is we'll stop right there, okay? Because the concern is, would it remove the hair of a person? Okay, and that's where the Gemara then is going to continue and ask the further questions. So everybody, we wish you a good Shabbos, and we will pick up, okay, on Sunday morning. Right? Take
Have a
care.
good Shabbos.
Thank you very much.
Shabbos, Chodesh Tov.
Yeah, Polish too.
Kodesh Tov as well.
Thank you.